So this video is on how to make a phospholipid out of 3D origami. And so what you'll need is 20 white and 24 red. For the red are for the head of the phospholipid, and the white are for the two tails. The tails are going to be 10 each. So what you want to do is first take 6 red, and then another 6 red, and these will be the first 2 layers. And it's going to be a total of 4 layers, and then that'll be the head. So the way that I'm doing this is that I'm scraping this edge across the glue stick without much pressure, and as you can see, it's got glue in there. And then I do it like that to both sides, and that's how I get glue into the little pockets. So you want each row to have 6 of each piece. And what I'm doing is I'm getting glue into one piece, and then I'm getting an unglued piece and sticking the tip into the glue of the other tip, or of the other piece. So once you have 6 on the bottom and 5 on the top, take your 12th piece, stick it on like that, and bring this end around and over to it and stick it in. Now this will try to fall apart. Just hold it together as best you can. It'll get more stable with the other 2 layers. So then you'll just take 6 again, and what I'm doing is I'm not putting it on like that. I'm putting it on the left tip of one and the right tip of the other. See right there, left tip of one, right tip of the other. And then I do that for each layer, and then that helps build a nice strong pattern for all of the pieces. Alright, so once you have the 3rd layer of 6 pieces, what you're going to do is you're going to put your finger right here and all your other fingers on the outside. You're going to push down with this finger and then use these fingers to pull up. So you do that. And then use your fingers to do that, to force it into a shape like that. It should look like that at the bottom. Now obviously this is going to try and go back to where it was. So what you need to do is put the 4th layer on, and then that'll help it keep its shape. So then again, I'm using the same scooping method for the pieces. And now the 3rd layer pieces will try to push themselves off. So all you need to do is just push them back on until the 4th layer comes around, and then you can seal them onto the 2nd layer. So once you have them glued on, just make sure they're pressed against your hand or against the ground, and then make sure that they're all on there all the way. And then again, you're going to want to force it into a more cylindrical shape. Alright, once you got that, that's the head done. And that's all you need to do for the head. Now what you need is the tails. So for each tail, you're going to get 10 pieces. to get 10 pieces, and you're just going to stack them one on another like that, and you're just gonna make a stack of 10. And then when you're putting the glue on these, it doesn't need to be a whole lot of glue, because with the other one, since it was holding on to two different tips and each of the tips were pulling in different directions, it needed more glue. But these ones, since it's right on top of the other piece, doesn't need as much glue. And like I said, when you're scooping the glue, you don't need much pressure to get glue, because like for one piece, I'm just barely running it across the surface, and it still has glue in there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it has glue in there. And even that tiny bit of glue is enough to hold it in place. So then once you've got this, you're going to put glue into the pockets of this, and then you're going to use the left tip of one and the right tip of the other and put it on like that, and make sure you push down on it so that it compresses a little bit. And once you have that, you have the nice tail right there, and then you gotta take the other 10 and make another tail, because after all, phospholipids have two tails. And when you're putting them on initially, you don't need to compress them a whole bunch, because you'll be able to compress them later when you put the tail on to the head. So then for the second tail, there's 6 spots where you can put it, and so I put this one in this spot. So you need to go 1 spot, 2 spot, 3 spots over, so it's symmetrical and equal with the other tail. Then again, you compress it. Alright, so then it's got 2 spots in between each tail. And then once you have both tails on, you're gonna want to compress these, push them a little bit, so that these tips end up closer together and it doesn't use as much space. And once you've got that, let it dry for like 10 to 20 minutes, and then that is your complete phospholipid.